So apparently I'm tardy to the party. I did not know that Mike Tyson and Jake Paul was fighting. Now, I've been trying to figure this out. The only reason I found out was this troll on TikTok. And I say troll because this cannot be real. They cannot be setting these fake rules. So, I'm not going to lie, I popped open a cold one. I'm going to try to, I tried to cyber sleuth it until I really realized how stupid I am. So basically, I found out that they're fighting. Now, obviously, I'm sure anybody watching this already knows that they're fighting. But the goofy shit that happened was, the way I found out, was a fake update. And it was stating that Jake Paul will not be drug tested, but Tyson will. There is no weigh-in, so he can be as big as he wants, but Tyson would have to be weighed in. And then it would be the Paul brothers, where they can tag in and out in the fight. But they would be wearing headgear so they don't get their head smashed in. And I don't know why it didn't click with me. I think it was because I was exhausted and I didn't, while I was at work. Not to mention, I mean, it was a hot day today. I don't know. It was just humid, really. So I was not thinking straight. It wasn't until I got home. And then I realized, yeah, you're an idiot. You should have realized that. But here's the thing that's killing me. This Jake Paul versus Tyson fight, I think, is, man, it could go either way. And I don't mean in actual skill. First off, Jake Paul, which I'm saying allegedly, hasn't actually had a real fight yet. They've all been paid off. I believe that 100%. I think he's a fraud. I don't think he's an actual boxer. Not saying he couldn't, whoop my ass. Somebody that actually doesn't go fighting. Because he has some form of training. I mean, it's clear from some of his videos, but he seems slow by comparison. Not to mention all the clips. Everybody's seen a billion of them. Clearly, anybody following him is probably 12. And this absolute giant man-child doesn't understand that, yeah, you're getting fans and you're getting all this fanfare, but it's all fake. Just like with anybody that just tries to fake their entire thing. The only difference is he has the money to back it up, try to look like he's not faking it, by letting all these boxers take a dive. And he acts like he has a professional, count, but he don't. He doesn't have anything. It's just a bunch of exhibitions. Why? Because then he can put them in his favor. If it's an exhibition, it doesn't affect negatively on the other person that he's fighting. So if he does an exhibition, they don't count it. Doesn't go on the record. They get a big payout for losing. And that's the thing that gets me. In this fight, it's not going to be a good, outcome regardless. So say Tyson, loses. Now, here's the thing. I don't think Tyson's ever actually taken a fall. So that's going to be interesting if he ends up going down that road. Money, it definitely influences a lot of people to do bad things one way or another. I know at the factory I work at, there's I say a bunch. There's a handful, just a big handful, probably 3 people carrying a handful of people who have screwed other people over just for $2. Or no, it was actually $1.50. That's usually what the pay raise is for somebody in one position above where I'm at. It could be literally just $1 something. And it's the dumbest thing to, screw people over on. But you're talking about things that's going to be worth millions. You think Netflix hasn't already pretty much ponied up their purse? It's pretty much already set in stone. That's another thing. It's on Netflix. They're going to stream it on Netflix, something that's never actually done this before. If they're not going to have technical difficulties, I mean, I'm going to be bad. I just assume they're probably just going to monkey fuck off all the servers of YouTube or other streaming platforms. But here's the biggest thing. This is basically what I mean by the outcome. It's just kind of rigged regardless. So say he goes down. If Tyson loses, it's pretty much rigged. You're going to see that. If Tyson absolutely brutally beats the shit out of Jake Paul, then that's the only way this is going to show it's possible. Because Tyson even now could just go through an entire room full of people and just lay out people because he's still got the moves. The only sad part is definitely his age and the fact he's had sciatica problems, I think, is what I was saying, where he was wheelchair bound, which, if you know, sciatica problems is definitely painful. I've had a pinch on my nerve that goes, I think it's the nerve that goes up your whole leg up side and kind of goes up through your back, and it hurts like hell when it gets pinched. I can imagine what it's like to actually suffer from bigger issues with it. Now, what gets me is the fact that they're willing to do this, and he's going against somebody that has literally no professional background at all. Now, if you haven't seen, Jake Paul has not actually boxed like a boxer of his age group or in prime, basically. He's boxed like an NBA star, MMA guy, and I don't know if you know this. Well, MMA is still a tough sport. Boxing and MMA do not mix well. A boxer could probably get into MMA a little bit easier than like an MMA person jumping into boxing. The reason why is restrictions and rules. They're completely different. Now, if anybody remembers, they had the McGregor fight versus Mayweather. Now, when they were boxing, you could see McGregor getting, almost like muscle memory. He was wanting to do some tosses. I remember actually watching the fight. I actually had wanted to watch that fight because McGregor, I enjoyed him. And then I always knew who Mayweather was just from wrestling because he showed up. And if anybody remembers, he screwed up Big Show's nose by actually, getting a few good licks on him. But basically, the thing is, while yes, I know Mayweather's still a good boxer, I'm not going to take that away from him. But at the same time, they definitely were going to come out with a purse regardless. The problem was McGregor was, while he was trying to get in on those swings and he got close, it seemed like when he was going to clutch, he was actually going for like a hip throw. And you can't do that in boxing. That's what I mean. The muscle memory in MMA cannot cannot go over to boxing as good. And I think that's a big issue. Now, boxing, while going over, I think the MMA, just with a little extra training, might be able to fare better against an MMA person than an MMA person going to boxing. And that's the thing right here. I think it's stupid that the Paul brothers have not at any point went up against people on their own turf. While boxing, I think, probably makes more money. I think MMA, since these are just exhibitions, they'll make the same amount of money if I had to guess. So I don't see the point why they're doing boxing. I mean, I can tell why they're doing boxing since pretty much all of them's taking falls. It's just so Jake Paul can keep everything. He's not going to get concussed. He's not going to get hurt. And he can fake it as much as he wants. In fact, nobody's regulating this as well as they should, if I had to guess. You can put extra padding in the gloves, anything like that. You can make softer punches where when they're beating the hell out of each other, they're not going to come out, bruised up or hurt. And stuff like that. They can fake anything they want behind those lines. But if you do MMA, and if anybody's watched MMA, there's no faking that shit, except for grapples. And at some point, if you're going to grapple each other, you're probably going to get more pissed off. Because if you've ever wrestled, and I don't mean shoot wrestling, like me and some family members, we live in the South. Instead of beating the shit out of each other, we would actually get on the ground and try to submit each other because it was just a way to, literally house wrestling, just being stupid. And if you've ever wrestled somebody in your family, you go for them arm bars, you go for, just trying to get around in chokeholds, or you try to get out of one of their maneuvers, an elbow is going to strike the face. I've been hit in the face. My family member's been hit in the face. Many times we've accidentally, given a good elbow or accidentally kind of locked a forearm against the face or the palm, knuckles. Normally we don't try to hurt each other, but that still happens. You'll bust a lip and, you'll have to take a break, get the bleeding to stop, and then go right back at it. That's the thing about this. There's plenty of ways to fake it. I'm not saying Tyson's in a bad spot, but you're talking about a guy who I'm pretty sure during a boxing career made way more money than what he's making now. He's still probably, he's got to be making a real good, comfortable living. So I had to look up the name of what I was about to say, which was he did that movie with Steven Seagal. And I kid you not, I forgot his name, completely drew a blank, and I just typed in fat fake martial artist actor. First thing, Steven Seagal, body shaming isn't cool. Sorry, I thought that was funny. Go ahead and just Google that right now. Fat fake martial artist actor, and it's going to be literally Steven Seagal. But yeah, he did a movie with him. I assume he probably didn't get paid all that great, but he was like probably a bigger name. And unfortunately, that's the whole situation right now. They're going to be fighting. I know this is a lot of talking, a lot of bullshit, but just to let you know, they're just going to be fighting, and it's going to be a lot of garbage. But the two options is it's going to be faked, or he's walking out with money with a dive, or he actually just beats the living shit out of him. But Jake Paul's not going to take that. I'm assuming that this fight's just going to be absolute chaos up until the point. They're going to sell it well. They're both going to get paid out of purse real good. So tell me what you think. Do you think it's fake? Not Jake Paul himself. Obviously, he's fake. But I'm saying, do you think this fight's going to be fake? Or do you think Tyson's just going to beat the shit out of him? Also, I'm going to do a poll on Twitter. If you don't know what my Twitter is, it's going to be My Side Life Real. Look for the name front butt. And I'm going to try to get a poll started after the video uploads. I'll do it while I'm at work. Try to get it set up so you guys can If you want to go out there, do a poll on it and tell me who you think is going to win, Mike Tyson or Jake Paul. I'd like to see that. But that's about all I can say about that. Y'all have a good one.